Well, we did it. We did some testing for the garrisons and rallies with Wedge 2.0, and holy cow, guys, we're going to have to deal with this because Wedge 2.0 is so overpowering that it's pulling old commanders back into the meta. We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about how we did the testing. We're going to talk about the results because Dido and Garrison, Eleanor and Garrison, Justinian rallies, and oh, by the way, what it does for the Archer rally, oh my God. Guys, you want to stick around because we're going to go through all of this and set you up to be ready to deal with the rally and garrisons with Wedge 2.0. Hey everybody, I'm your boy War Daddy Chadsky. You are seeing some clips from our stream last night. We'll go through a lot of these different reports and things like that. If you enjoy these videos and you get some entertainment out of it, throw a like on here. Really helps out the videos, helps out the channel. Love you guys for doing that. And if you're not subscribed, consider doing so. Hit that subscribe button. Also, you can hit that bell if you want to get alerts when I put out content like this. None of this costs you anything, guys. It's free. And so with that, we are in the middle of our video giveaways that we're doing. So all you have to do to enter is comment on the video. So the last video that I did when I went through the Wedge 2.0 tier list, I picked out a random response or comment on my video, and let's see who the winner is. It's for a $10 flux. Hey, yo, Zarbo, let's go. Yo, love the video. Really want to know if Dido will now be a good garrison. Well, it's funny you asked that, bro. And when I put these things randomly, I was like, oh, this is perfect because now we can actually talk about the actual testing that we did, and we can talk about how this thing laid out when it came to the garrisons and the rallies. That's what we wanted to test. We did this in actual mode, okay? Because I have Cav Wedge 2.0. PTI has Archer Wedge 2.0, right? So we wanted to test Dido and Eleanor in the garrison. And we also wanted to test PTI's rally with Shapur with Wedge 2.0. And we did it against strictly infantry, right? The pincer. We did it against Maximus and his Scipio Emilianus Evar rally, one of the best in the game. We also did it against Murph's garrison. So let's go through this. As you can see some of this video here of what we were seeing here, and you can see how this thing works out. Here's what I ran. This is on my Justinian because we also ran the Justinian rallies. That's what I ran with my setup. And here is my Wedge 2.0. Really, really good. I don't have the all damage, but I got a ton of health in there and I got decent stats in there. So it'll work out really, really well. Okay, and so I put that on the Eleanor, and we went and cooked with that on the garrison. On the on what we were hitting, or on the rally side, this is what Maximus was doing. Okay. He had this on his garrison, and it's crazy good stuff. Now, one thing anybody knows about Maximus is that he's one of the only players in the game that has a pincer with the special inscription on the instrument and demolisher with uplifting. Uplifting's incredible for rallying garrisons. You're going to run your normal damage up to 5% very, very quickly in a rally or garrison, and it's incredible. He's got one of the best pincer sets in the game. And so that's what we wanted to run it against, okay? And that's what we did. All right, you also had PTI stuff. Let me come down here. I think I've got PTI stuff down here. All right, and you can look at the gear PTI's running, and then you can also look at his Wedge 2.0. It's got really high stats on all damage for the two slots it's got. I believe it's this slot and this slot, 1, 9, and 2. And he's got really, really good stuff. Of course, we know PTI, one of the better Archer players in the game. And so from there, we wanted to kind of see what we did. So everybody don't panic. We ran this in a custom arc. Okay, we ran the first arc test as completely actual mode. We took out the arc buffs, we put in the KVK buffs, we got as close as we could, but we didn't have reigns. And this is what everybody has to understand, okay? This is not like a true picture of what these things look like. It just gives us an idea, and that's all we want. All right, so let me come down here and let's go through it all. First and foremost, we ran PTI's Dido with CY against that crazy good SA Evar rally. All right. And honestly, it didn't do as bad as we thought it was going to do. We're talking about Dido here. Dido has been out of meta for years now. And now she's, I guess, okay with CY. And then we put the Hector behind Dido. And look what it did. Of course, before I get to this, we all know Hector. And oh my God, if we have another application for Hector, because we know as a Archer commander, if you put him behind an Archer commander and he's a secondary, he is going to do skill damage, 2,700. It's big. And he also does this cool little buff and debuff. It's actually a really cool thing that he does. But he gives good defense stats. He gives a health stat right there. Okay. And then he's got this on his third skill, and it triggers whenever the troop inflicts a debuff on an enemy troop. And of course, he's inflicting his own debuff, right? Off of his active skill. And so he does it himself. Whenever he does that, all right, the target takes the troop takes 5% less damage for the next 10 seconds. Your troop takes 5% less damage. Okay, and this effect can stack up to 2 times, 10% less damage, and the duration resets as it gains another stack. So you run that damage reduction to 10% very, very fast. That's why we like this guy, because he does so much weird stuff. We know him to be a part of the Cav meta in the Garrison with David. We know him to be part of the infantry meta in the Garrison with Gorgu for infantry. And so it is crazy what this guy does. Well, now he's got an application for archers. Holy jeez. Hector he's got so much value as a Garrison commander. It's just unreal. So we put him behind Dido, okay? And when we put him behind Dido, hold on, let me find this thing. When we put him behind Dido, first we ran the Dido with CY, okay? Got beat, like I said. Then we ran Dido with Zuge, and it got beat pretty handedly as well. We ran Dido with Herman. Did a little bit better. You run those Herman stacks up. We ran Dido with YSG. Actually did better than the Zuge because of YSG's buffs and what he does. And when you look at this, obviously you've got YSG running up the skill damage here on his museum buff. But then look at what Dido Hector does. And this just gives us a glimpse, okay? Because this can go one of 2 ways, all right? It actually beats the rally. It beats it. What? Dido Hector with Wedge 2.0 is beating the meta rally right now? Are you kidding me? And so from that standpoint, when we get the new Archer Garrison commander that's coming out in April, if it is a big time skill damage commander, all this does is show us that you're going to be running that commander with Hector and you're going to be cooking. Or you can run it with Dido. We just have to find out which one's going to be better with mono troop types. But you got to remember, we couldn't run this mix because Dido has some things in her kit that doesn't allow mixed troops. But all this shows us, number one, how powerful Wedge 2.0 is. Because if you try to run this with Wedge, like the original Wedge, it gets crushed by this rally. Wedge 2.0 is carrying this to beat the rally. All right? Now, there's some RNG in there. We know that. We weren't reinforcing the rallies. But this just gives us a glimpse. Guys, when they come out with an Archer Garrison, if it is a big-time skill damage Garrison with Wedge 2.0, and now with the application of Hector, and now with Hector you can run it with multi-troops, mixed troops, especially if the new Archer Garrison doesn't care if you run mixed troops or not. They give Archer buffs, but it's not exclusive. It's going to be impenetrable. Oh my God. What are we doing? Like, Wedge 2.0 is cooking so big, it's crazy. Okay, what did it do with the cavalry? All right, I ran Eleanor Ziska. We're running 4-year-old commanders here. All right, and it gets beat. It doesn't get absolutely destroyed, but it gets beat pretty good by the Maximus's SA Evar rally. All right, now I wanted to try it with Nevsky. Nevsky actually did about the same. You know, you're running up the skill damage so much with Nevsky, and this is it. When you're running the Wedge 2.0 and you come in here and you're running up the skill damage, where's this at? Let's see. You're running up the skill damage after a skill fires off to 20%. Where's the skill damage? 60%. You're running up the skill damage to 60%. You're just bonusing and boosting all that skill damage with Wedge 2.0. So the theory's pretty good. Like, hey, Eleanor Nevsky, massive skill damage, but because you're running against infantry, it still doesn't win. However, we ran the Eleanor with Hera, and we ran it mixed. Hera has some normal damage mitigation. We had it mixed here. Heavy calves, of course. And look what this did. It won. What? Now, you had some RNG with Eleanor. Of course, the Lily of the Wilds will fire off her instant proc. But how did this win? That doesn't make any sense. Well, when you look at Hera, he's got some normal damage reductions, okay? And obviously, he does some things with the shielding that's really, really good. And I'm not saying he's a counter to SA Evar, but with Eleanor, you're not supposed to do this. And that's partly because it's being carried by the Wedge 2.0. How crazy is that? And then Dido with Hera, same thing. Like traded even. Like, huh? That doesn't make any sense. We ran this mixed troops with PTI. Like, we're going to have to look at this, y'all, because thinking about an Eleanor and a Dido running with Hera, being able to take on a rally. Okay, now I know Dido and Eleanor are both very, very swarmable. Dido is less swarmable because she has so much skill damage mitigation. But that's just nuts when you think about it. And that's all being carried by Wedge 2.0. By the way, another thing we have to think about, and I'll get to it in a little bit. I'm going to talk about it because we need to talk about the flag slot for Wedge 2.0 because it's pretty crazy. You can see it in the reports and you can see it on the red numbers, okay? Then we went to Justinian Nevsky on the rally, okay? And look at what Justinian Nevsky does to the first garrison of Murphs. It wins, okay? Now, don't freak out about that because he moves over to Gorgo with Toku, and it gets beat, right? And then I think we ran it up here against, let me see. We ran it up here against, no, these were all against Toku. Did we run it over here? Yeah, here it was against David and Hector, and then I thought we had another one. But that's the fact of the matter is that Justinian and Nevsky being able to beat this and then being able to hang with the Gorgo Toku, like hanging with it, is just insane. Like, think about this, guys. Gorgo Toku or Gorgo Hector is cooking the current Cav rally. The Attila Subutai is having a tough time against Gorgo Toku. Well, now we can just run skill damage with Wedge 2.0 and go trade even with it? Now, I know Justinian and Nevsky are so swarmable, and Justinian, if you think about it, he has the support tree. So this is the build we were running. It was a full anti-smite build. All right, we didn't do anything up here with Emblazoned Shield. We went full in on emergency protection and loose formation. And to see this thing actually trading okay against a Gorgo Toku was just kind of nuts. And then here's where it got crazy. We ran a Shapur with Ash against the Gorgo Toku. And the Shapur and Ash for PTI, he didn't have the horn on it. He had a tier 4 pendant, not a horn. Look what this does to the Gorgo Toku. Oh my God. Guys, like, what are we doing? Just destroying the Gorgo Toku. Destroying it. And then we thought we'd run it against the David Hector. Beats the David Hector. Like, Wedge 2.0 is so overpowered. Like, guys, we're going to have to deal with this. This is a problem. This is a big problem when it comes to this. Just crazy what we're seeing here with Wedge 2.0 as it comes to the rallies and garrisons. Just nuts. And they're going to, right now, the Shapur Ash is going to crush everything, every single thing. Only the David Hector is going to be able to hang, or Attila David. That's the only thing that's going to be able to even hang. It's not winning, but at least it's hanging. Okay? And then you couple that with the fact that Dido with Hector can do this to the meta rally right now? Huh? For infantry? What? Oh my God, guys, Wedge 2.0. And then here's the other thing. Now, we've talked about this. I'll have a card at the end screen about my Wedge 2.0 tier list, and it's more tailored to Chin. All right, but you have something in Wedge that's really, really interesting. It's this flag slot. Everybody's been talking about this and how if you put it on Chin and you get swarmed down, it delays Chin's active skills, which is true. And you don't want to do that. But the majority of the time when you're attacking, it does not affect the active skills of Chin. If you're attacking, as long as you're not getting swarmed, 80-90% of the time, you're not getting swarmed with your chin march. But seeing this is crazy. Okay, so in addition to this, all right, when you put it on the rally or garrison, this thing is fantastic. It fires off all the time. I got to show you guys what this thing does, okay? And let me see if I can get the video going. And I'm even going to slow the video down, all right? And I'm going to try to pull it up when we're actually doing this. Hold on. I'm going to pull it up here. We're going to go to these rallies and garrisons, all right? I'm going to show you. I'm going to zoom in here because this shows it. Look at the red number, 3,100, 1,100. Okay, look at the red numbers that pop up here. Let me back this up here when you got a full health march. 5,000, 5,900. Okay, I'm ignoring the big numbers. 5,800, 6,700, 4,500, 4,600. Okay, then you got big numbers, and then you got 3,900. Okay, you're losing troops. 4,800, 4,200. Look how much this fires off. This is the flag inscription on Wedge 2.0. It just constantly fires. And if I've got a full cap reinforced garrison, it's going to fire big numbers. We did this for everything. Let me go to the rallies here. Watch these rallies that we're doing. Let's see. Can we fast forward a little bit? Rally coming in 14 seconds. All right. We're going to do this. And we're going to show you guys. Look at the red numbers. Hold on. Let me see if I can back it up a little bit more. We're just going to go and let this thing play out. But what I'm trying to say is that flag special inscription for your rallies and garrisons for Wedge 2.0, just it loads up so much. It's like a chin effect. It's like every other second, it just fires that thing off. And on a rally, it's good numbers. It stacks. I mean, the numbers just continuously pile up. Now watch this. You're going to see this thing fire up. Okay, there's the big damage, 80,000, and then 89,000. Okay, then you got 8,800. There it is. 7,600. There it is. Okay, you got 8,200, 8,500, 6,200, 8,600. Okay, 8,700, 4,900, 5,900, 5,600. Like it constantly fires off. It's crazy. It adds like another 10 to 20,000 red numbers every skill cycle. Just this thing can absolutely do crazy stuff for the rallying garrisons. Let alone, like all we needed to do was give Shapur more. Like, so here's what this translates into, guys. And here's what everybody needs to help. I need to help everybody understand, okay? Right now, we're going to have the meta rally of Shapur with Ash, right? And it just got a massive steroid shot. Like Wedge 2.0 for Shapur, off the charts. Oh my God. And we're getting ready to get an Archer Garrison. And if they make that a big skill damage garrison, it's going to crush everything simply for one factor and one factor only. Because it's got Wedge 2.0. This is so broken and overpowered. Like the thought that you could take Dido or Eleanor and go compete at the meta level. Like it's the power creep. I talked about it all last week in my videos. It's too much power creep, way too much. And what it does is out of control. Holy gee, you're telling me I can go run Eleanor Hera and I can go trade even or even positive against the Scipio Emilianus with Evar? Huh? That's not supposed to happen. Like, imagine what the next Archer Garrison's gonna be. And you can go put that, guys, like it or not, this dude right here is just getting more and more value. Hector, you go put, they give us a big skill damage garrison for archers, and you put Wedge 2.0 on that, and then you put this dude behind him, you're gonna be able to hammer the mono troop types. Just, you're gonna hammer every rally out there. It's not even gonna be close. And then you can run it mixed and still beat everything. Like, they can't release Delta 2.0 fast enough. I can't even believe I'm freaking saying that. It's wild. Like, Wedge 2.0 is so overpowered, it's bringing back 2, 3, 4-year-old commanders to compete with the new hotness, which is nuts. Like, what are we talking about? Unbelievable. Just wanted to show you guys those findings, okay? I'm not saying it's ironclad. I'm not saying, hey, this is better than this. I'm just showing you how powerful Wedge 2.0 is, because it is so uber powerful. Let me just pull this up again. It is so uber powerful that it actually beats some of these rallies. Just crazy. Look what it's doing. I mean, and that just gives you an idea. Now, I lost that one, but it's just crazy what this thing does. This is against, what is this, a Hector? This is the Dido Hector, and it's going to cook this rally. Look at those red numbers, by the way, from the flag inscription. Look at those red numbers, 3,300, 2,500. There's another one, 2,300, 2,300, 3,400. Like, it's crazy what this thing does when it comes to those flag inscriptions. So for the Rally and Garrison, Davver and I gave it a 5 out of 10. It was like the least powerful inscription. It's still good. It doesn't really nerf Chin. Doesn't nerf him at all. It's still really good. It just doesn't compare to these guys. This one, and this one are amazing. This thing just didn't score near as high just because it's not that great. But for a Rally and Garrison that doesn't do Chin skill damage every second, it just keeps piling up those red numbers. It's incredible. It's like an 8 or a 9, maybe a 10 out of 10 when it comes to Rally and Garrisons. Wedge 2.0. Oh my God, guys. Like, it's out of control. Oh man. If you guys would throw a like on here, consider subscribing if you haven't. Doesn't cost you anything. Helps out the channel. Also, remember to comment, because in my next video, I will pick a winner from the comments of this video. And I'm giving away $10 Flux every single video till the end of May. It's crazy. I love you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you guys. And thanks everybody for helping out with the live stream. It was a lot of fun. We were able to do it. We were able to stream it live. I'll have a card at the end when it comes to the Wedge 2.0 tier list for players who don't have specials and you got commons. I kind of do a tier list and explain exactly how that works. So, oh man, I hope you guys have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. We will see you, broskies.